Rishasringa was so called because he was born with the horn of a deer. His father was the rishi called Vibhandak or Mrigi, and his mother was the celestial Apsara Urvashi. According to another legend, he was believed to have been born to a doe or a female deer who was also a Devakanya who was cursed by the Lord Brahma that she will be a deer until she gives birth to a human boy. As he was born to a deer, he has horns in the form of a protrusion on his forehead. But the main story goes that Vibhandak Rishi was seduced by the celestial dancer Urvasi by the order of Indra, the king of gods, who feared the yogic powers gained out of the great penance by the Rishi could prove fatal to the very existence of heavenly world. Out of his relation with Urvashi was born Rishasringa. However, immediately after the child was born, Urvashi left the just born child and his father and made her way to the heavens as she has finished the work given to her by Indra. The incident left the father with extreme hatred towards the women folk, and he raised the boy in a forest isolated from the society. Vibhandak Rishi did not want his son also to face the same plight he suffered at the hands of a woman. So Rishasringa never saw any girls or women and was never told of their existence. Actually, he never ever saw any other human being other than his father. His penance was so committed with unwavering concentration that he was bestowed with supernatural powers. He lived with his father in the forest where no one else entered and continued his strict penance without any deviations. As we learnt in the previous video, Dashratha had given away his daughter in adoption to Romapada, king of Angadesa, and his wife Varshini, who was also the sister of Kausalya. Though the kingdom of Anga was a very prosperous kingdom, it once suffered with severe drought and famine. The king Romapada, feeling very sorry, tried to find a solution to end this famine and was told by the learned men in his court that it can only be alleviated by a Brahmin having the magical powers that come from the observance of perfect chastity. They then told the king about Rishasringa and said that he has to be brought to the country and be persuaded to carry out the necessary ceremonies to initiate rains. They explained him about his father and told why he was kept away from women. They continued, because Rishasringa never had any distractions of any kind, he keeps meditating all the time. With his immense meditation, he is blessed with astonishing supernatural powers. He is such a chaste person and is so pure that wherever he goes, rains will follow. They told the king to marry his daughter Shanta to Rishasringa and keep him in the palace so that the country will become bountiful again and would remain so forever. The king was so surprised about knowing that such a man existed who never knew about women and requested them to bring Rishashrunga to him. But the learned men said, if they go, surely his father would become very angry and curse them. But they told the king that as Rishasringa never saw any women, beautiful women have the possibility of having a profound effect on him. So they told him to send some beautiful and intelligent courtesans to seduce and bring him back to the country. If they can manage properly, he can be brought successfully to the kingdom without his father knowing about it. Once he is married to the Princess Shanta, Sage Vibhandak will not be so angry anymore. So that will save the country forever from such famine conditions without hurting Vibhandak. Despite his fear of the power and anger of the boy's father, the king sent some of his best courtesans with all required instructions to introduce the boy into normal society. These women went in a beautiful boat filled with plants and various types of flowers, which looked like a hermitage, to the forest near to the place where Rishasringa lives. The courtesans observed sage Rishasringa and his father for few days without revealing themselves. They saw that they had a routine. In the afternoons, sage Vibhandaka went into the deeper forest to meditate, whereas Rishasringa stayed behind in the ashram to tend the fire and clean the place. He goes around in the forest nearby to collect some things needed for the hermitage. So one fine afternoon, when Rishasringa accidentally came near their boat, they spoke sweetly to him and introduced themselves. He thought them to be some kind of beautiful men Remember, until then he never saw anyone other than his father and was never told about women. Intrigued by them, he invited them to his hermitage to offer his respects. They went with him and stayed with him for some time, told him many things about outside world, and then left before Vibhandaka returned. Rishasringa was so mesmerized by them. Next day, he visited them again. Taking this opportunity, they offered him some sweets, which he presumed to be a type of fruit as he never had any delicacies before except for the food available in the forest. The courtesans seduced him with their womanly grace and asked him to accompany them to their home so that he can get to see many more such wonderful things. As he found them highly interesting, he accompanied them to the kingdom Anga. As soon as Rishasringa entered the kingdom of Anga, the heavens opened up and the rains fell. The king and the people were so thrilled. King Romapada came forward and offered Rishasringa his daughter in marriage after explaining him about his intentions. The king pleaded Rishasringa to help him evade the anger of his father, as his intentions were only to serve his people. Sage Rishasringa understood what had happened and, accepting that King Ramapada's intentions were good, agreed to marry Shanta willingly. Both of them stayed there in King Ramapada's palace happily. However, Vibhandaka was very angry. He figured out that this must be the work of King of Anga and set out to get his son back. But when he reached the palace of King Romapada, he felt happy seeing Rishasringa and Shanta happily together. He excused them wholeheartedly, accepting the fact that the two opposite male and female powers cannot be kept separate forever in this universe. He blessed them to live happily together and left for the forest. From then on, both Shanta and Rishasringa lived happily with King Romapada in his palace. Sumantra told Dashratha that Maharshi Sanatkumara told this story in the Maharshi's meeting and continued saying that Maharshi Sanatkumara also said that in future King Dashratha will take the help of the same Rishasringa in conducting Ashwamedha and thereby will be blessed with four incomparable great sons and satisfy his wish for successors. King Dashratha, hearing this, felt very happy. Without any further delay, he started to Angadesa to meet King Romapada and request him to send Rishasringa to conduct Ashwamedha in his capital, Ayodhya. After staying at Angadesa for around a week along with his family, enjoying the friendship and association of King Romapada, he explained his desire to beget sons and requested Romapada to send Rishasringa along with him to conduct Ashwamedha. Romapada accepted happily and sent Shanta and Rishasringa along with Dashratha. The story of Rishasringa is also seen in Buddhism with some variations, but the essence remains the same. Even today, we can see the memories of the great sage Rishasringa in modern India. There is a temple of Rishasringa in the Chaini fort situated in Banjar Tehsil of district Kullu, nestled in the lap of the majestic Himalayas in Himachal Pradesh. Rishasringa is called the Shringa Rishi by the locals in Banjar Valley. Idol of Shringa Rishi with goddess Shanta resides in the temple and is the presiding deity of this secluded valley, Banjar. Only locals are allowed to enter this temple. This place is about 50 kilometers from Kullu. There is also a belief that sage Rishasringa was from a place near Sringeri in Karnataka. There is an ancient big temple nearby Sringeri, which is believed to be the place where he lived before going to Ayodhya. Shringi or Sukwal Brahmins in Rajasthan state are believed to be the descendants of Shanta and Rishasringa. There is a sect of Sengar Rajputs who are also called the only Rishivanshi Rajputs who associate their lineage to Shringi Rishi and Mata Shanta. Let us know more about how Rishasringa conducted Ashwamedha successfully and helped Dashratha in his quest to get sons in the next episode. Sarvejana Sukhino Bhavantu.